this music had young people basically just killing themselves and worshiping the devil and just basically calling the devil's name out. We went in high school, kids would come to school with the Satanic Bible, and this music would have all kinds of vicious pictures and graphic pictures on the CD covers and all this, and I mean, it was just a mess. I remember watching, and my mom had it on videotape, we watched a special on 2020 about the effects of heavy metal music, how it was causing people to kill and all this. So even the country acknowledged this big move of the enemy. 1993, maybe, 1992, 1993, I'll never forget. I remember sitting at my mother's apartment at the time, and I remember she had cable. And, you know, I was flipping through the channels, and there was this cable channel. A channel on cable used to be called The Box. Y'all remember that? You could actually dial and order a video, you know, if you was paying for the cable. You know, you wasn't paying for the cable, you was at the mercy of the paid customers. So you had to sit there and just watch whatever video came on, you know. But they had this cable. Can I just be real tonight? Y'all loosen up a little bit now, come on. And I remember flipping through the channels one day, and I landed on The Box, Brother Tony, and I looked at The Box, and there was a video that popped on, and it was by a group called Almighty RSO, which now they're called the Made Men, and I don't even remember the name of the song, but the Holy Spirit just told me to sit there and watch it, you know, and I know, you know, at the time I was like, what is this? It looked kind of strange, and I remember seeing one of the brothers had a flat top. You remember the flat top? Some of y'all still got it, you know. It wasn't a joke. See, y'all not laughing at the jokes. Y'all laughing. But I remember the brother had a flat top, and in the back of his head, he turned around while he was rapping. You know how they do, you know. You know, you can't well, you really can't understand what they saying. I think that's why it's so popular, because they can say stuff you can't understand. But they's rapping, you know, and doing their thing, you know, and I'm like, you know, what is this, you know? Brother turns around, and in the back of his flat top, he had 666 cut in his head. A brother. Look at your neighbor and say, a brother. Now that scared me, because, you know, we don't play with the devil like that. I said, oh my goodness, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, Craig, get ready. Get ready. And that just blew my mind. I think I called everybody I knew and told them. I mean, I just could not believe what I just saw. It was Ain't that kind of unbelievable? Rap song. You know, and then I guess about a week later, I was sitting in there and, you know, flipping through the channels again, and, you know, and The Box came on again. And it was a rap video called Nothing But a G Thing. And some of y'all quickening now. Look at your neighbor and say deliverance. Celebrations. They practice magic and divination to make money. Listen to this. They made wild cries or high-pitched shrills while they performed their dances to the music of pipes and dull beats of the tambourine. Listen, when the deity or the goddess would enter into them, they were possessed by divine power. They would dance uncontrollably in ecstatic frenzy. Here are some pictures just so you can get a good look. And listen, y'all, please be serious with me. This is not funny at all. This man died in this, okay? This is not funny. But he literally got put on magazines. He really was genderless. Corey Bonds. Let's go through some of his songs so you can kind of hear his signals, because they always have to signal you. We Are the World. There's a line in We Are the World that is so demonic it's hard to believe that folks sung this in their churches in celebration to Michael Jackson, and it's down here. Michael wrote this part. Says, send them your heart so they'll know that someone cares. Y'all know. And your lives will be stronger and free. Y'all remember that? Then he says, as God has shown us by turning stones to bread. If Jesus had obeyed Satan and turned stones to bread, all of us would be lost right now. Folks didn't even get it. They waiting for me to finish the song. Here is a song where he's describing the Nephilim spirit in him and telling you that the end is near. This is a song called Another Part of Me. There he is, dressed up like Eva Maria in the same thing like Beyonce wore. He said, we're taking over. We have the truth. This is the mission to see it through. Don't point your finger. Not dangerous. This is our planet. You're one of us. Okay, it sounds like he's talking something friendly or whatever, but listen. We're sending out a major love. This is our message to you. The planets are lining up. What does it mean in astrology? What does it mean in Greek mythology? What does it mean in the Mayans and the Sumerian cultures? All of these different cultures. What does it mean when the planets line up? That's the day that Nimrod comes and takes his throne and finishes the Tower of Babel, the uncapped pyramid. They are all in line waiting for you. Can't you see you're just another? Says in this song, nasty boogie bugs me like somebody has drugged me. The spellbound rhythm gets on my feet. I changed my life completely. I seen the lightning leave me. And my baby just can't take her eyes off me. Look, the magic music moves me. That dirty rhythm grooves me. The devil's got into me with his dance.
Former member of and songwriter for 3 6 Mafia, Delmar Lawrence, saw his life change overnight.
A lot of girls, a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. You know, it was, rap life, rock star life. It was, to me, it was, great.
Del's rough childhood sent him to the streets.
An abusive stepfather, which did a lot of wear and tear on me physically, mentally, and emotionally. All we could do is just hold each other at night, cry ourselves to sleep.
Del knew instantly the first time he heard hip-hop that this was his deal.
Because I was writing poetry before that. So here's this art form of music that speaks to who I am, that represents who I am.
Music soothed his raw emotions. Gang members and rappers became his family.
Rappers, at that time, they looked like drug dealers, big gold chains, and big cars, and, just the things they would talk about. I could relate.
Soon after his rock star life started, Del realized something was missing.
I loved it. But after you witness all of that, you're like, is that it? My soul felt empty, like it was no purpose in what I was doing. I always wanted something with meaning, something with passion, something that not only people can feel, but I can feel, and I can feel proud to do. I remember I wasn't proud when, my songs were played in front of my mother or my nephew.
When Del came off the road, he slipped into the back row at church to surprise his family, just as the service let out.
That's when I heard God speak to me for the first time. And then he gave me a vision, and it was me in this auditorium. And I was up on stage, and there was so many people. And I just felt the power of God in the building, So when I saw that vision, something illuminated inside of me, and I was like, okay, God, if I do this, you're going to have to take care of me. And then he said, trust me. And right in that seat, I decided to dedicate my life to God.
Del told the group he was leaving. Immediately, he began working on his first gospel album, Enter the Light.
This generation is very important to God, and that no matter what they have been through or what kind of attacks the enemy has thrown out at the family, at young people early, that Jesus is still in business. He can definitely change your life because he's changed my life. And I'm a part and have dedicated my life to being a soldier for his cause.
preach against the TV, they'll preach against the movies, they'll preach against Hollywood because it's obvious that that stuff is bad, but then they'll say, well, but we watch Disney movies. And I've been to the home of preachers and Christians who would never watch TV or the movies, but yet they have the whole library of the Walt Disney movies. You know those white plastic cases? And they have them all lined up, and I mean, they have tons of them lined up. Of course, I don't know how many there are, but there's hundreds of them. They have them lined up and lined up, and they have their kids watching those movies all day long. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove to you right now that those movies are wicked. Say, what? Disney movies? Come on, you're crazy. They're rated G. Well, let's see. First of all, did you know this? Did you know that Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages? Subliminal messages. Now, what are we talking about tonight? Sorcery. What are we talking about tonight? Getting inside your mind and messing with you, controlling your thought process by supernatural means or demonic means. Or hey, I'm going to tell you something. Disney movies are filled with subliminal messages. And you say, oh, that's a hoax. I've seen it with my own eyes. When I was a teenager, I had a friend of mine sit me down at his house and show me the subliminal messages in the Disney movies. They're filled with subliminal messages. Let me give you some examples. The Lion King, filled with subliminal messages. Okay, all throughout the movie, there are pornographic pictures hidden in the movie. Like you'll be watching the movie, and just for a few seconds, something filthy will come on. Like off to the side, there'll be some kind of a, reproductive anatomy will pop up, over here, and then over here. There's this one point where the lion, he kind of goes like this, and a cloud of dust comes up and just spells the word sex. And the word sex is put in the Lion King movie subliminally, literally hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. The shapes on the screen will spell the word. And I've seen it. I mean, I had my friend sit me down at his house and pausing the movie, showing me the word sex popping up on the screen at different times because he knew where they were. And he would show me these things. Another one, and they all are filled with it. Aladdin is another one. In the movie Aladdin, there's a part in the movie where the guy, what's his name, Aladdin? There's a point in the movie where he tells Jasmine to take all her clothes off. But you don't even know it unless you know it's there. You listen to it, and he mumbles it kind of under his breath.
Leave me alone.
Down. So how's our little bow doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? So how's our little bow doing? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off? Come on, good. Can you just take off?
And I mean, once you know it's there, you hear it just as clear as day. But you didn't know that it was there, you wouldn't hear it. And The Little Mermaid has a filthy picture drawn in the cover on the front of The Little Mermaid. And nobody would realize it until somebody shows you and says, look at this. And you look at it, whoa! And all throughout the movie there are scenes, I'm not even going to describe some of the scenes in The Little Mermaid, where subliminal messages are coming on the screen. The other movie, Beauty and the Beast. There, a nude woman pops up a few times in the background of Beauty and the Beast, filled with subliminal messages. Your kids are watching it, and their mind is maybe not even seeing it, but it's going into their subconscious. Words flashing on the screen over and over. sex, nudity, filth, just all the smut is just coming on the screen. Oh, those movies are harmless. They're filled with subliminal messages. Who knows what your kids are being programmed? Oh, but you know what? I'm sure that it's only just the Disney movies. I'll guarantee you it's the rest of Hollywood probably doing the same thing. And these Disney movies, at first when I was a teenager and somebody showed me this, I thought it was just a couple movies, a couple scenes. But as time has gone on, I've realized that virtually every Disney movie is packed with hundreds of subliminal messages to program the minds of your children. Okay, but then forget the subliminal message. Just the message of the Disney movies is perverted. Even if you just forget the subliminal message. I mean, forget, what movies did we bring up? The Little Mermaid. A half animal, half human being. That's perverted in and of itself. All throughout the Bible, every false god is a half animal, half human being. They're constantly merging of animals and human beings. It's paganism. It's wicked. And yet every Disney movie is pretty much based on the merging of a human being with an animal. It's described in the Bible. And the movie The Little Mermaid, you know, she's topless the whole time, right? She's just wearing like a bikini top. How is that? Is that how you want your daughter to dress? Is that, oh, but there's no cussing, there's no nudity. Do you want your daughter going around in a bikini top? Is that modest apparel? Is that what Jesus Christ would have you to wear, ladies? No. The movie's filled with Satanism, witchcraft. There's some, what is it, Ursula, some witch that's casting spells and using sorcery and demonism. Oh, pretty innocent, right? All of them are filled with it. In the movie Beauty and the Beast, the whole first half of the movie is these prostitutes in the town that are dressed just half naked, dancing around, you know, admiring this guy, the big, strong, handsome guy. But all these girls are dressed indecently. They're obscene in their gestures, subliminal messages, and then the whole movie is basically just exalting a certain physical standard of appearance. Beauty and the Beast is a movie about a woman who falls in love with an animal. And in the movie, they keep acting like, well, he's just ugly. He's not ugly, he's an animal. But there's a difference between being ugly and being a beast, being an animal. And if you've seen the cartoon, it's an animal. It's like a dog. It's like a big dog man or something. I mean, it's clearly an animal, and yet she falls in love with him while he's an animal. You know, only when she kisses an animal does he become a human being. Oh, wow. And you say, well, what's wrong with that? Read the Bible sometime.
Hey guys, it's Jared. I pray this video shed light on the satanic, Luciferian, Illuminati indoctrination of our children through subliminal messages and Disney movies. I understand that you may not believe this, but when you look into who is making these movies and you see the fruits of their labor, it all makes sense. Walt Disney was a Freemason obsessed with the occult and used his movies and his theme parks as a tool to indoctrinate the public into his beliefs.